Yes, dear viewer, many thanks to you for having joined us today on yet another edition of your favorite program, The Arena, coming to you on Aneke Television. And this is where we meet to take on burning topical issues and matters which faces us as a people in this society. My name is Chris Anibogo. Yes, today it's all about the Nigerian Bar Association annual general conference, which is holding currently here in Enugu State, the Cold City State. And today we want to look at issues and matters arising from that annual general conference of the body that holds together the teaming lawyers in Nigeria. And we have joining us to do justice to this matter on the show today, a man who is widely known for various things, but today he's just our guest on the show, an Enugu-based lawyer, Barrister CDO, where you're welcome to Aneke Television today.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much. Yes, dear viewer, so you sit back as the discussion runs. I don't know, for you, Barrister CDO, where you are a barrister, I hope you are actually participating at the ongoing international conference of the Nigerian Bar Association in Enugu here.
Yes, I registered for the conference.
Okay.
And I have participated in some of the sessions.
Okay.
I was there on Sunday during the opening ceremony. I was also there on Monday. Whenever there is any sensitive issue that has to take me out of the conference venue, just like this program,
Just like this one?
Yes, I have to, for the exigency, attend to such other important...
And we must have to appreciate you on Aneke TV for actually, sneaking out from, the conference just to be with us on this show today.
It's still part of it because I believe that what we are to discuss today is also forms part of the ongoing conference. Just like that should be on Monday, I was also in another media house with a learned friend of mine and a senior member of the bar here in Enugu State, where we x-rayed issues pertaining to the ongoing conference. And those issues that we x-rayed also had to do with the aims and objectives sought to be achieved in the ongoing conference. So it still forms part of it.
All right, so we roll then. All right, talk to us now. What is the conference of the NBA all about? It's an annual thing.
It's an annual ritual.
Yes.
It's an annual ritual. And basically, the conference of the Nigerian Bar Association affords lawyers the opportunity to come together and then exchange ideas as far as the legal profession is concerned, and also to chart a new course on the governance of the Nigerian Bar Association as a legal entity, because there is what we refer to as the annual general meeting of the Nigerian Bar Association. Just like the way you have shareholders who do have their meetings as stipulated by law to discuss the ambit of the investment made, whether the investment is thriving or not. So the annual general conference is of the Nigerian Bar Association is an annual ritual that offers the leadership of the Nigerian Bar Association the opportunity to interface with the followership of that same association. Take a look at our constitution to know if there are areas that need to be amended. Also, we take stock of what must have happened in the previous year before the hosting of the annual general conference, inclusive of taking stock of cases filed either against or in support of the Nigerian Bar Association and the policy directive of the association. And most importantly, this annual general conference also affords lawyers the opportunity to embark on what I refer to as a mandatory continuous legal education, because you have breakout sessions where professionals are called upon to address various multifaceted components of our profession. Like I know that in one of the sessions I attended, that the current laws on taxation enacted by the National Assembly, the 4 basic laws, we are looked into, and we had experts address some of these issues for us, in as much as the time frame wasn't enough to have an all-encompassing appraisal of these laws. Yet, the exposure and information passed across to us, as far as I'm concerned, served and will still serve as a strong foundation upon which we can then delve into these novel areas of law. So this is just one of the instances. And it's an opportunity for lawyers to also identify with the area of interest. Okay. Like that of my participating in the session on taxation, it was by way of mere coincidence. I wanted to be part of artificial intelligence. A friend of mine persuaded me to participate in the session for
for taxation.
Artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence.
Okay. In the legal profession. The result artificial intelligence. But on my way to the international conference center, I had to move over to the session for taxation, because initially originally my intention was to participate in the session on human rights. But that colleague of mine told me that there is no need, participating in the session for human rights, that you are well versed in this area. That I should look for something strange. And that's why he convinced me to offer AI. But, I am not all that well vexed in taxation, just like most of us. And most importantly, these 4 laws, basic laws on taxation, at least at the federal level, they are still new, they are novel. So there are many issues in this law that we are not yet conversant with. So I had to participate in that particular session. So, and there are some other lawyers who also use this opportunity, the Annual General Conference, as an opportunity to meet with old-time friends and to
kind of reunion,
congregate with members of the profession who have made a quite remarkable impact in the profession. The who is who in the Nigerian legal terrain. Most of them are here in Enugu. So there are some personalities who are opportune to come across for the first time. So it's an avenue for lawyers to do away with the burdensome nature of law practice, at least, even if it's a period of 7 days, to wine and dine, to congregate with others, to exchange ideas, and to take stock of our activities as members of the noble legal profession.
And possibly also, maybe to catch fun as well.
Exactly. It depends on the type of fun one wants to catch.
Well, yes, of course. When you meet, you're meeting old classmates, old friends, and then
explore, some use that as an opportunity to even visit the environment. I know this may be the first time some lawyers are coming to Enugu. They've heard about Enugu, but because there are other colleagues who are coming, they felt comfortable coming in group with other people. So this is their first time of coming to Enugu to explore, to know how Enugu looks like, to visit some tourist sites.
And which is taking us, which is going to take us to the next question I want to ask you now. The choice for Enugu to play host to the NBA. I came around, I saw thousands of lawyers, coming from different parts of Nigeria. The choice for Enugu to host, do you think is a mere coincidence, or do you think is actually a welcome development, considering the fact that we have a government in place for 2 years now that has been working on trying to transform the, how do I put it now, the aesthetical appearance of the city called Enugu? Is it a mere coincidence, or do you want to see it as a welcome development?
Anyway, it's a well-known fact that this year's annual general conference of the bar was to hold in Port Harcourt, Rivers. So by sheer providence, following the political drama that played out in Rivers State, in which an unconstitutional government was enthroned in the state, the NBA, in form of a protest, by not identifying with that undemocratic dispensation in Rivers State, decided to look for another environment, and that's how Enugu came into the picture. Before now, as a member of the bar, I know that there has been insinuations before that Enugu, before this development, Enugu had a mind to host the annual general conference of the Nigerian Bar Association in 2026. But immediately the Port Harcourt saga played out, it became an opportunity for the government for the leadership of the bar and all relevant stakeholders in line with the state government to call for the venue to be moved to Enugu. And I know that normally whenever the annual general conference of the bar is to hold, whenever and wherever, some factors are put into consideration. Issue of security, infrastructure. These two factors, security and infrastructure, because most lawyers will not like to visit a place with well-known cases of security lapses here and there. Yes. I know that there are some persons who express reservation about the sit-at-home exercise being practiced here, but luckily for all the stakeholders that sought to read that this conference was moved to Enugu, we never had any bad story last Monday. So everything went on fine. Then in terms of infrastructure, the government of the day has been able to at least to improve the aesthetic components of the state, in as much as some of us may have reservations and cogent reservations about the government of the day has gone about it, because the facelift witnessed in the state seems to be done at the expense of the comfort or of the overall interest of a vast majority of the poor and downtrodden members of the society.
How do you mean? How do you mean?
You can still develop a state or an environment, especially a nation like Nigeria, without necessarily overburdening the citizenry. I know as a fact that under the watch of former Governor Sullivan Chime, Enugu State also witnessed tremendous infrastructural and aesthetic improvement. Yet the nature of burdensome taxation that we are experiencing in the state at the moment wasn't the case under the watch of former Governor Sullivan Chime. So if the supporters of the current government may want to, assert that the aesthetic improvement being witnessed in the state is the fallout of the ferocious drive by the government of the day for revenue generation, I will also be right, and I think I am right, to assert that the government of the day has not been able to convince some of us that the resources at its disposal has been used judiciously for the betterment of the state. I believe that if the entire resources at the disposal of the state government has been deployed judiciously, both the internally generated resources and the one coming from the federation account, I think we should have something better than what we have in Enugu at the moment.
Now we are talking of an international conference center that has just been rebuilt or rather completed by this administration, where your conference is actually taking place. Yes. We have the presidential hotel that has been abandoned for about 20 years, in the state, being put in place by this administration. Are you saying all of these things are not commendable? And then good enough, you said, part of what you actually picked interest in this ongoing conference is about taxation. Are you also saying that people should not be taxed?
There's one thing you should understand. In first instance, I'm happy you made this clarification that the government of the day, under the watch of Itamba, that he completed the International Conference Center, because he seems to be taking the credit. The International Conference Center was to a great extent built by the government of Chimaro Namani. I am not his spokesperson. Presently, I don't even identify with him.
And abandoned afterwards. We saw Sullivan Chime's 8 years.
I give it to him that I give it to him in all sincerity. I don't play politics of bitterness to a great extent. I give it to him that he completed the project, but the way it's now being projected, is being this argument is being canvassed, or this idea is being canvassed. Not this narrative is being sold across as if he built. Even while I was there on Sunday during the opening ceremony, it was said that he built the International Conference Center within a space of 4 months. That within a space of 4 months, or 1 year plus. No. He completed it. The project was to a great extent built by the Namani administration. But apart from that, Hotel Presidential as well is an edifice that was already in place, even though abandoned in a dilapidated state. And he refurbished it. I give it to him. But the point we should note is this, and the question we should ask is this. If in all sincerity you marry the funds generated by this government, ever since this government came to power, from Enugu people, with that from the Federation account, these projects that have been executed so far, are there enough to justify the resources?
All right, let's leave it.
I will answer. The answer to a great extent is no. Okay. And you talked about taxation. Let me come back to that. In civilized nations, even the United States, that professes to be the bastion of capitalism, whenever the economy is in a shambles, you find the government embracing pro-people policy to assuage the harsh economic realities.
Cushion the effects.
Cushion the effect. Now, Nigeria has been experiencing economic turmoil before now. In nations where you have leaders who are compassionate, this government should be talking about giving tax holidays. You can only maybe come after well-established institutions. Like that, I wouldn't like to mention the names of something, but there are companies that are well-to-do. Not the common man in the street. The average Nigerian citizen in Enugu State should actually be talking about enjoying tax holidays. Not the type of policy this government has embraced.
We will look forward to having you here. Let's delve more, deeper into some of these issues of development in the state. But then, back to the conference. Before we go on this quick break we're about to go on, do you think that the hosting of the conference by the state Enugu has any meaningful economic impact it's going to bring to the state and to the people of Enugu?
Yes, it's actually an interesting question you asked, because the hosting of this conference automatically, I believe the government of the day must have made a profit, especially the tourism sector of the state, because I know that many hoteliers here, they actually benefited from the presence of many lawyers, most of whom are stupendously rich and high-ranking Nigerians and even foreigners who graced the occasion. But on the other hand, we also lost serious money.
Lost, sir?
The Ministry of Transport in Enugu State, MOT, they have the enforcement team. Before now, they normally embark on indiscriminate arrest of traffic offenders. But with the emergency, with the onset of this particular August occasion, they were withdrawn from the streets. So the government should have allowed them continue with their job. So by now, because it said that ignorance of the law is not an excuse. So by now, at least they should have, MOT people should have caught at least 10 or 20,000 lawyers in Enugu. They calculate the money. So the question is this: why did the government withdraw them?
Maybe to have a seamless operation, seamless
it is very,
flow
and
of
Enugu State government should apologize to Enugu people, because the MOT, the traffic enforcement team, they are there to enforce law and order.
Okay.
So if you withdrew them, that means there's something they are doing wrong. There is equality before the law and equal protection of the law. And I know that in enforcing laws, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. So if you have foreigners or visitors in our midst, that's when they are expected to act more, so that the lawyers will now see how they operate in Enugu and clap for the government. So we lost serious money there.
We lost money.
They will have caught many lawyers. So they will do to them what they've been doing to us here in Enugu, even when you innocently make any mistake. There's a difference between intentional violation of the law and then innocent mistake, which should be the policy behind traffic control. But a situation whereby you withdrew these law enforcement agents, we lost serious money, and the Enugu State government should apologize to the people. Okay. What has been a very good opportunity to rake in serious money, as they have been doing to us. There you have rich people in town. You now withdrew them. That's a very bad one.
Okay, that's for him. He says the hosting of the conference in Enugu actually has come to improve and increase on the revenue of the state, but then there's other clause which he's worried about, that the withdrawal of the Ministry of Transport traffic enforcers from our roads in Enugu has actually not helped, because we have lost some quality money. We'll be back after this time. Please don't go away, stay with us. Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world. Okay, you're welcome back to the show. It's Arena on Aneke Television, and I told you that we have the honor of having the presence of an Enugu-based lawyer here, Barrister Ogbe, who has come to talk to us about the ongoing Nigerian Bar Association annual general conference holding and taking place in Enugu, the coal city state currently. All right, now to some other issues, Barrister Ogbe. Yes, the lawyers have gathered. It's an opportunity, according to you, to explore, certain silent areas of interest that will enable the lawyers, get improved, knowledge-wise though. But then again, are you satisfied with what we get from the judicial sector in Nigeria? Especially, taking it from the last few years till date, do you think that the judicial sector is actually where it's supposed to be? Especially with the rule of law, especially with the adjudication of cases, especially with transparency, and even being the hope of the common man in society. Is a Nigerian legal system where it's supposed to be now?
The answer is obvious. We are still far from freedom. And I will not stay here today to sugarcoat the fact that obviously that there are many challenges confronting the judiciary as an arm of government in Nigeria. But on the same hand, I make this statement, and I say it with every sense of responsibility, that the judiciary seems to be one of the institutions in Nigeria that is still striving to ensure that things are done the right way in the country. Let me throw more light on what I've just said. In the first instance, we should appreciate the fact that the Nigerian nation is in a comatose. Virtually all facets of our existence are in trouble. That is the reality, including the judiciary. But notwithstanding, I can tell you for free that apart from sensitive cases, especially politically inclined cases, that when you go to our courts, you find judges dispensing justice for the poor and downtrodden members of the society. I say this because I go to court every now and then. And let me repeat without overflogging the issue. And unfortunately, most of the cases that normally generate controversy are politically inclined cases. And these cases, usually election petition cases, are cases that are dear to the heart of an average Nigerian. So because of the controversies that normally surround the adjudication of these cases, many people now have this notion that that's the same way what obtains in conventional cases in court. Now, I can also tell you that there are many instances whereby even some judicial officers have been caught doing the wrong thing, indulging in corrupt practices. Many have been found wanting. So it's a well-known fact in the country. But when you take a look at the way the Nigerian system operates, I can tell you for free that though they may be in the minority, there are judges who, I'm mentioning judges because, we came for an national conference of lawyers, members of the bar. They are different from members of the bench, even though we all work together, because without the bar, you cannot have the bench, and without the bench, you cannot have the bar. Judges will not have any case to adjudicate upon in the absence of a lawyer, save for litigants who can prosecute their cases personally. So having said that, you come across judges who, against all odds, dispense justice to the point. Let me use myself as an example.
Go ahead.
There's a company here in Enugu. I wouldn't want to mention the name of the company, but this company is owned by high-ranking members of the Nigerian society. I've secured 2 judgments against this particular company. And if not for the firmness of the 2 different judges vis-a-vis the case presented before them, if it were to be on a normal day, I don't think I will emerge victorious in those 2 cases. Despite the fact that the companies involved in this case, the company rather is a company owned by high-ranking members of the Nigerian society. I have come across many poor people who some judges and magistrates have stood firmly to protect their interests in accordance with the law. So having said that, generally, we have a problem. We still have a long way to go. The judiciary as an arm of government of a truth has not lived up to expectation. But we should also appreciate the fact that part of the challenges bedeviling the judiciary as an arm of government, some of them are man-made. When I mean man-made, by the judiciary itself. Some are being executed by the stakeholders, especially the lawyers, even the litigants, and then by the executive. Because, for instance, you're talking about the independence of the judiciary. He who pays the piper dictates the tune.
So it is.
If you have a situation whereby we are still battling with the malaise of the judiciary not being financially autonomous, to a great extent, the activities of judges and magistrates will be adversely affected. Because you have a situation whereby you have judges and magistrates going hand in cap, begging the members of the executive arm of government to have access to the funds that ordinarily should be used in carrying out the administrative duties of the judiciary. So in a nutshell, not sincerity, we still have a long way to go. We are found wanting in many respects. But notwithstanding, when I take a holistic look at the Nigerian system, talk about the law enforcement agencies, talk about the civil service, tell yourself the truth. I've thrown this challenge. We accuse judges of not being firm to protect the downtrodden. To a great extent, I appreciate the fact that judges are held in high esteem. It is said that judiciary is the last hope of the common man. When lawyers are in the picture, there is this level of decorum and integrity that one expects lawyers to exude. So whenever the opposite is the case, many people feel disappointed. But the Nigerian system, where what we refer to as Imam Mado, I am, prevails. Let us tell ourselves the truth.
Who know man?
You listening to me, how many times have you been approached by maybe a close friend or an ally for a favor to the detriment of another person who don't have that contact? The job you secured in a government institution, did you secure that job on merit? Or did you reach out to maybe an Abraham or a man who has contact with Abraham in power, and then more qualified individuals you are sidelined? But these are the anomalies taking place in the Nigerian system. Take a look at our law enforcement agencies. In Nigeria, I'm able to say that if you don't have the financial wherewithal, you may not get justice in the hands of our law enforcement agents, because even if you allege that maybe a criminal act was perpetrated against you, you need money to take care of some administrative steps in seeing to it that justice is done. And the money we are talking about has to do with humongous sums of money.
Which is an illegality.
So the Nigerian, if we want to single out the judiciary, then we'll be getting it wrong. And that's why I said we have not lived up to expectation. But the fact that we still have some persons, because of their calling, because of their belief, say judges and magistrates, who still stand firm in defending the rights of the downtrodden. I'm telling you what happens in our court every now and then. We are even trying, but we need to improve.
The Sultan of Sokoto in attendance at the ongoing NBA conference here in Enugu said that justice can be bought in Nigeria. It begins to look like, it begins to appear that the executive arm, well, not necessarily the executive arm, let's say the political class now, have overwhelmed our judicial sector instead of the other way around. We know of the days of the likes of Oputa, Justice Oputa, and his likes within the legal system in Nigeria, who were credible, honorable men. We know of days when nations came to hire our judges here to come and dispense justice for them elsewhere in their climes. What happened? What has happened? When did we go sliding down the precipice that we now begin to look at our judicial sector and say, it's now a matter of the highest bidder takes it all?
What happened is that the Nigerian society degenerated.
The society
Degenerated.
But that the legal profession is an honorable profession.
Yes, in those of us who have the Christian fold, it is said that they'll tell you that they're in the world, but they're not of the world. Judiciary is an honorable sector, but in Nigeria. And I can tell that most of us who are crying about judiciary, if we should tell ourselves the truth, we are even complicit in the rot in the Nigerian system, including the judiciary. Now, I mentioned the lives of Oputa and the rest in the Mekago. In the days of yore, these people, they got to a great extent, they got to the echelon of their respective offices based on merit. But in the present day Nigeria, maybe where we start degenerating, you and I'm not trying to exclude myself now.
Go ahead.
You and I now decided to embrace the principle of Yeman Mado. And it wasn't taking place in the civil service alone, on the normal conventional society, Nigerian society. It was playing out everywhere, including the Nigerian police force, in the Nigerian army, in the civil service, in the judiciary. But the point is, it is now backfiring because whatever we do, whatever I do, it will come back to fight us. But I think the mistake we are making is this. When people cry about judiciary, I'll be laughing because we are running away from the truth. Let me give an example. Here in this same Enugu State, let me digress a little while answering you. I ran for election in 2023. And the Enugu people voted. And I can tell you for free, Enugu people, they voted two major candidates, the current governor and his Labour Party counterpart. These two people, they have been in power before. But you and I voted them. I can tell you, if it has been a society that wants to move forward, the current governor will not be the governor of Enugu State. And Mr. Edoga will also not be the governor of Enugu State. But people vehemently came out and voted them. And tomorrow you want to move. How will you move forward?
Possibly there were the options provided by the various political parties.
No problem. But where we have 18 other candidates, and these two men have been in power before, you have their records, what they did when they were in power, whether good or bad. And people came out, and both church leaders, traditional rulers, the masses came out and voted these two men. People should stop, please, you should stop complaining in Nigeria. I repeat, Nigerians should stop complaining, including, this is, I say at times, just because I'm led, we should stop complaining. I can tell you, whenever I see Nigerians talking about judiciary, even police, army, corruption, we are a bunch of hypocrites.
In this country?
The day we want to move forward, the day we want to move forward in Nigeria, the day most of us, because it's difficult to get all Nigerians, the day most of us want to move forward, we will move forward. For now, we are still beating about the bush. We are being mischievous. We are playing with it. We are just trying to be economical with the truth. We are running away from the truth. And I repeat, and I stand firm by what I said. If it's a society that wants to move forward, the current governor of Enugu State and Chicho has no business coming near the corridors of power. At least you try a total stranger. If he disappoints, he joined that league. But church leaders even prayed. And that's why I don't even blame Mr. Mba his tax policies. Because this man, church leaders invited him. Maybe because he was a rich man, or he was a rich man before he became a governor. And that's what our people want. They prayed for them. They prayed for him. They prayed for Erdogan, and God answered them.
All right.
I'm coming. Luckily for us, Erdogan has also joined him. So whatever he's doing is answered prayer.
Okay. So back to the matter. Now, you say you wanted to digress. So back to the matter. Is that justification for why the judicial sector should also join the bandwagon?
No. I'm being realistic. And I repeat what I've said earlier. I can tell you for free as a lawyer that there are many judges and magistrates. I know the way they adjudicate upon cases. It doesn't mean you must win in their courts. Let me mention some of their names. Those who have retired, those who are, because I cannot mention them. My Lord, the Honorable Justice R.N. Onwara of the High Court of Enugu State, to a great extent, was a judge of integrity. My Lord, the Honorable Justice, you
may not need to crack your brains.
No, so we know ourselves. That does not mean you must win all your cases. People had confidence in them. In fact, these people, these judges, they stood firm. They may be in the minority. Even as I speak, I know about 1 or 2 or 3 judges here in the Enugu State High Court that once you present your case, because at times once you lose a case, you say that they have come. No. We have reasonable, we know, we have the records. We know the antecedents of people, even among lawyers. So in present day Nigeria, where you have people who are firm, despite temptations, despite pressure from all quarters, who will still resist such temptation to do justice in favor of the common man in the street. How many of those listening to me will do it in present day Nigeria? So in a nutshell, we have not actually lived up to expectation to a great extent. But what is happening in Nigeria is they have a society that is fundamentally rotten. A society that is fundamentally corrupt.
That needs to be fixed.
Society that you and I will do the wrong thing.
To be fixed.
And they turn around and say judiciary.
And the society is looking onto the
judiciary to do miracle.
Hold on, Barrister.
To perform miracle.
The society is looking onto the judicial
The judges, where are they coming from? To
be able to take the lead.
Judges from heaven.
No,
court officials from heaven.
To take the lead in fixing the problem we have in the larger society.
If governors constitutionally, there is a role they play in the appointment of judges. Just the same way governors also to a great extent influence how a local government election will be. If the people actually want a judiciary that will live up to expectation, then they should vote people of integrity as governors, so that when they become governors, they will to a great extent also influence the emergence of people of integrity as judges.
Thank you.
But when you now voting people of business as usual, you now come back to say one local government election. So you want Peter and Ban, they don't get to conduct free and fair local government election for you in the Enugu State. So you want people like that.
Hold on, sir.
I'm coming. Just a minute. You want people like that to now project, to push for people of integrity.
Politics.
Devoid of any sentiment to say, if you want to be a judge, apply. No interference. So you want people like that to do.
Although anyway, some of our expectations on the Nigerian Bar Association is that there's going to be a strong push and kick from the bar on the appointment of judges, because now we see where governors as well as the president, to a greater extent, influences who becomes, for instance, the CJN of Nigeria, even the judges at the state levels. Whereas we have the NBA. So I think this conference should be an opportunity for you people, to be able to galvanize yourselves and say, okay, a lot of the rotten things that Nigerians point at within the judicial sector, it's time for us to begin to amend them.
The point there is that even the issue of appointment of judges, the Nigerian Bar Association plays a role, because the issues,
they just make recommendations.
But apart from that,
subject to
with due respect to the leadership of the Nigerian Bar Association, under the watch of Maazia Famosi Igwe, he's trying his best.
Okay.
But the truth is that even the NBA, we have not lived up to expectation. Many people aspire to occupy leadership positions in the bar, to the best of my knowledge, because of the lucrative nature of NBA as an association. Do you know how much we pay on a yearly basis as practicing fee? Do you know how much has been given by donor agencies or by public spirited individuals for this? That's why even many are already stopped campaigning for the forthcoming election. And it cuts across board. It's not peculiar to NBA. And even in the NBA, if you're a lawyer, if you want to start kicking against the system, you will be an enemy of progress. Because that's the point, the summary of this whole story today is that the Nigerian people, we are comfortable with the Nigerian system. We only cry. We only even cry about judiciary when it's working against us. If there's any bad thing you are doing, if you have contact, you'll be smiling that grace has found you. They will do it for you. But the moment it's against you,
then
it becomes a problem. So the day we are tired of the system, let's forget this hypocrisy. We will kick against it. So,
all right.
like the labor union, if you are expecting the labor to at times people will say NLC should come out and protest. Protest over what? Men who are in their early 50s and late 50s. When young people, you stay in your room, facing your keyboard, say, there's been a hike in fuel price, a PMS price. NSC should come and protest. Say, young man, you are in your room. Your father should come and protest for you. That means you're not yet tired. If you are tired of the policy, you come out. You don't need NLC.
All right, Barrister,
you come out and
the
protest.
signals are coming. We need to, draw the curtain on this show. But then we need to be sure that you will avail us the opportunity of coming from time to time when your time can.
It's subject to when I'm
available.
Available.
Please,
Yes.
we'd like to have you here so that we'll take on issues in the society. Thank you very much, Barrister Siliowe, for coming to this show.
It's my pleasure.
All right. Yes, dear viewer, that's the much we'll take on this edition of the show today on The Arena. Keep watching Aneke TV. Join us on all our social media handles on Aneke TV, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Thank you very much. My name is Chris Anigbo. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.